dears. So here we are again, another new session of your open course Applied Language Skills. So as you can see, today's class will be about letter writing, basically formal letter writing, and we'll be specifically dealing with writing cover letters and applications. So in this pic itself, you can see some of the important points to be noted, where you have to avoid using slang, abbreviation, acronym, emojis, text-to-speech. This comes in business letter layouts. It should always begin with dear, or you can use to whomever it may concern. Okay, so earlier you might have studied in your school level, the salutation started always sir or madam. But now it's preferable that you use dear sir or dear madam. Okay. Then we have the accepting closing, or the salutation should be sincerely yours, best regards, thank you for your consideration, hopefully, etc. And you have to use white bond paper of decent weight. That means, our standard A4 sheet will do. And single space your letter. Justify your letter. Some of the important facts to note. Space the layout, use plain font, or these are some of the main things you have to note while writing a business letter. So let's move on. Now, as far as the letter font and spacing is concerned, you have to properly space the layout of the business letters that you write. Business letters could be for various purposes. You are inviting quotations. It could be your application or any such, an inquiry, etc. So there should be a space between the heading, the greeting, the paragraph, the closing, the signature. These are just some pointers. You have the application level questions to deal with for your exam. So again, I say don't take it lightly. You have to pay attention to these simple facts. Okay, this could even help you in your future. Then single space your letter. You can, what can we say, left click you can select the text and left click, and there you have the spacing. So you can single space your letter, and space between each paragraph should be left extra. And type when you are sending typed letters, that is, when you're typing and sending letters, which is of course the most what can we say, relevant format right now. We don't send written letters now, so the typed format stays. So leave 2 spaces before and after the written signature. Justify your letter, that is, its sides, you have to make them equal. And everything should be aligned to the left. That we all know. And so once the 21st century had started, we had all started using the left margin. Everything should be aligned to the left margin. Then use plain fonts, or the most preferable fonts are Arial, Times New Roman, Courier New, Calibri, Verdana. These are some of the fonts. You might have, you might have to note such things when you're specifically doing your project in your final year. And the font size should be, decent, that is 10 or 12. If it's to a very conservative organization, you have to use Times New Roman 12-point font. Okay. Now moving on, informal letter writing. Okay. So while writing informal letters are very, very rare now, since the age of, text messaging, WhatsApping, all these social media messengers are available. So you have Insta, you have Telegram, you have WhatsApp. So you don't need this informal letters, but still informal letter writing is something to note. Opening expressions, you can say, how are you, how have you been, how's everything, I hope you're doing good, etc. Responding to news or making comments, or some of the phrases. It was lovely to hear from you. That's a very good thing, how you respond to something. So it was great to get your letter. Sorry for not writing for so long. That is something we might all require, right? Because it's been like ages since we have all written to our dear ones. So it's like, sorry for not writing for so long, etc. I remember when after I completed my 10th, so that was a time when this computer mailing something had just all these things had just started. So we didn't have our own accounts also. Back then, I think I got my own Yahoo mail ID when I was in the 11th or 12th something. So after I completed my 10th, I had changed schools. So we had this trend of writing letters, and that was we would write such lengthy letters. So it was good in a way, memories, making writing letters. And you have to tell the purpose of your writing also. Okay, now writing a letter or email, the difference between informal and formal letter writing. The opening salutation, I told you, dear Mr. Mrs. Name, dear sir or madam, is more preferable. Informal letters, you can say hi there, hello, etc. Starting your letter, you can use all these phrases. What you could do is you could take a screenshot of all the this slides, and you can save them for your reference. Okay, as I told you, you have the application level, but these are things that you should not miss. Okay, so informal letters, you can use very trendy words like guess what, what's up there, such kinds. And final remarks also, I look forward to hearing from you without delay, I look forward to meeting you, etc. Informal, you can use like I can't wait to meet soon, right back soon, etc. Closing remarks also, you have to use faithfully, you sincerely. So these are some of the things to know. Dear sir or madam, is if that's how you started your letter, end it with yours faithfully. If it's dear Mr. or Mrs., you use the surname only. Okay, dear Mr. or Mrs., and then you use yours sincerely. Regards, best regards, kind regards. In informal letters, XOXO, all the best, keep in touch, etc. Again, more examples of formal and informal letters. When I got all these slides on the net, I just thought it might help you. So just go through these slides, like giving information when you're doing having some attachments, especially for your formal letters. You have to note that in your cover letter or in your main letter. You have to note that, please find attached to my report, or please find attached to my CV or my biodata, etc. Or I'm sending you something, this document, my project as a PDF file. And when you're asking for information also, these are some of the words and terms you can use. Request, promising action, offering help, final comments, closing comments, best regards, as we told earlier. So go through all these different phrases that you will require in your formal and informal letters. So in the first column, the formal letters are given, and in the second column, the informal letters are given. Okay. Now moving on to the next slide, we have the sample format for formal letters. You all know how the formal letter format is. It's something I've been following since school. I don't think there must have come any, there is any change. The from address is something you take first. You have to include your name. So John Doe, and given the address, and then the date comes, and then the to address. Okay, so from address, date, to address also, detailed to address, and then you write dear Mr. Julius. So see, you can see Caesar Julius, the name came Mr. Julius. So you use the second name or the surname only. Now body of the letter, usually 3 paragraph is the standard mode. First paragraph, you provide an introduction or the reason for your writing. Second paragraph, you give more information or you specify the details you want to give. And in the last paragraph, you can review your request or the need for your writing the letter. And then you give the closing remarks, thanks and best wishes. You give your signature. Okay. Preferably after the signature, you give your full name. And if possible, give the contact number. That contact number, you can provide it in the from address also. That's also acceptable. Now, one basic thing you have to note are, what is the difference between a resume, CV, or a biodata? It's something we all get confused about, something we all wonder at one point, right? So what's a resume, what's a CV, what's a biodata? What are the difference? Basically, I would say everything is the same, just an enhanced version of it. The earlier version was the biodata. Okay, then later came the resume, and then we have the CV. Now, popularly we use CV or curriculum vitae, which is more detailed, The resume is basically a word that originated from the French word, where you have the education skills, the employment, everything is summarized, and that is what is a resume. It's basically an outline of what you are and what you do. So basically, all the and then resume is more similar to, I would say, more similar to CV. Biodata is the more old-fashioned term we used for the resume or the biodata. It's full form. You have to know the full form. It's biographical data. Okay. In that also you focus on your personal details, date of birth, gender, religion, give all your details and your experience, everything, what you want, what you want to do, what you can provide to the company, etc. Resume is something like, more professional. Okay, we use more points, but resume is compared to a CV or a curriculum vitae, it's shorter. A CV is very detailed in the sense it could take more than 3-4 pages, or it could be even lengthier depending on the field. If it's a very scientific technical field you are working in, so you might have to know to each and every project, each and every detailed, everything you have worked with so far, so it might require many pages. So CV is always very detailed, whereas resume is less detailed but still somewhat like a CV. Okay. Now, cover letters. Cover letter is something you have to know what a cover letter is. A cover letter and an application letter is not the same. A cover letter means the letter that accompanies something that is being sent. That is, if you are applying for a post, so you're sending your CV, right? So with the CV, accompanied with the CV, you would give an introduction. You would attach a letter. That letter is the cover letter. So in this cover letter, you'll be saying that I have attached my CV for your consideration, and my CV has been attached so that you could consider me for the job of so and so. Okay. So you have to keep it. So the cover letter means what can we say? Details are not required because everything is covered in the CV, right? So in the cover letter, you just say that you are sending this and why. It could even be a project proposal. It need not be always a CV. A cover letter could accompany a project. For example, you have done your project, and for your verification, you are sending your project. It might be 20, 27 or 80 pages long project. So you might be attaching that with a letter. And that letter is called the cover letter. You might say, I'm sending my project proposal, or I'm sending my detailed project for your verification, etc. Okay, so the letter that accompanies something that is being sent. Application letter need not always have a CV accompanied. Okay, so that is something basically you have to know about cover letter. Save this slide for your future reference also, how you should start a cover letter, the reason for writing, how you should introduce yourself. I'm currently doing so and so. So that should all be included in the cover letter. You'll start by saying I'm writing to express, or I'm writing to apply for the post of this assistant professor in Ansar Women's College in physics. I am currently working as a guest lecturer in MES College. And you can also say, give just the basics. I've done my PG and now I'm pursuing my MPhil in physics. And you can also give something like, I'm very keen to work for your prestigious company. I've always wanted to work here, etc. Okay, then you can say you have attached so and so. So please find my CV attached or enclosed. This is another, the layout of a cover letter. Here you can find the from address. The name is given after the from address. It's basically, you give the name above. It's okay. And then the date, then the to address, dear Mr. or Mrs. And then you give the paragraphs. 2 or 3 paragraphs, and then you have sincerely. Now basically when you now more often we find the subject is included. Okay, so subject could be either above that salutation, that is dear Mr. and Mrs. Blank, and after that you can write subject and give application or applying or sending my CV for the post of so and so, or the subject could be above the salutation, okay, right after the to address. So this is something I found, like 13 best kept secrets, resume secrets. Why? These are some of the things that you should not be revealing in your resume. Okay, so just go through. It's very good, you know. So thank you. That will be all in today's class. Thank you, girls, for your time.